Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay! It is gray and overcast and wet outside. Not exactly cold. It was chill last night. I actually had to wear one of my long sleeve shirts, but I rolled the sleeves up. It's just a little bit warmer. And then it was pretty chill. I slept, where once again I rolled onto my left side, fell asleep, and did not move even a millimeter during the entire 4 hours I was asleep. I just do not move. Yay! Hopefully you slept and slept well. That would be a good thing. And of course, front-loading the videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, it'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, that'd be double plus good. And even though I cannot put up on the screen, the list of all my Patreon patrons, and I forgot to update this list for today, I still want to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. Even if these people have 2 days worth of thanks instead of just one, each and every one of you that helps me out and keeps my aging pet metabolizing is greatly appreciated. Definitely a thumbs up. If you would like to help keep me and my aging pet metabolizing, I have links to the Patreon in the video description, along with a PayPal for possible donations, and an Amazon wishlist link that I desperately need to update. Oy vey, so hopefully I can get that done. Thank you much. Front loading of videos over. Yay! I also have like 4 days worth of my antidepressant / ADHD med, and I haven't ordered it yet, so oh boy. Past that, I at least slept 4 hours last night. That's good. I had a fair amount of falling asleep issues during the day yesterday. That's always fun, because I usually stop breathing while I'm sleeping in my chair here, and then I wake up with my head ringing like a bell, and it's really hard to pull myself back into a normal state for a few hours. And then of course my arm is still just killing me today. That's why I slept on my left side, and then when I woke up and got in here, it was like I hadn't done anything to try and help it. I have no idea why my arm is just killing me, but it's killing me. Yay! On the other hand, my leg looks good. I just did a short walkies last night, because the night before I had done a swing through southern Shelton to hit the local pot shop, then went up to Walmart and came back, so it was a 7-mile round trip. Last night, I just wanted to take it easy on my legs, so I just went to the local Safeway and back. Maybe a 3-mile round trip in total, 3.5. Something like that. Along those lines. Well, I did do that extra mile, so it's like around there still. To take it easy. Well, no, I didn't do I just did the Safeway. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. The trip to the pot shop was the night before. This one was just the trip down to Safeway because of my leg. Holy vey, my brain. But when I went to bed last night, my leg looked pretty good. There was still some slight discoloration. There wasn't a ton of swelling. And when I woke up this morning, a little bit of swelling, of course, on the right leg in total, because it may have done some damage to the limb system in that side again. If it has, that's life. It's going to get better through the years, so if I live long enough, it'll get better again. But it might not have. It could just be regular swelling because it's getting over the infection. But it's not as tender. There was very little red, so I took the last of the doxycycline yesterday, and maybe it's finally knocked out. Oh boy. So I am still cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to go, I'm out of the woods yet, because, oh boy, this could come a-roaring back. Let's hope not. So, checking out my list over here to see what else that there is on here. Oh, I'm going to talk about this one. This is partially because of a comment from Nexor EH, where they had said because of their various health issues, this is why they weren't present as much, and I'm letting you know because, my son with autism feels abandonment issues if this happens, so with you on the spectrum, if you feel this way too, this is why. Well, thinking about that, guess what? I just discovered another portion of what I thought was my personality is just another quirk of where I am on the autism spectrum. Yay! Because yeah, I've got abandonment issues a lot. It took a time for me to understand this and talking with my therapist, but even with, yeah, I have abandonment issues with my wife. She abandoned me by dying. She left me here by dying and abandoning me. So I'm dealing with that, and my parents abandoned me by dying. Everything, it's just, I've got abandonment issues when people just vanish. And is it a personality quirk? Well, it seems to me more of a, here's a laundry list of common things that people with your issue have. Oh, there's another one. So, yay? But it's nice to know, but still, yeah, I do have abandonment issues on things like, that's why I feel so, and have talked about this one a lot, where I get into the there's the whole parasocial relationship, or I get into a parasocial relationship with people in comments, and then when they move onward, it hurts. And when they vanish from comments, there are people that even years later I still miss and feel bad about because of the whole abandonment stuff. It's fun being human. What else do we have here? Yes, I was watching, I think it was the Philip DeFranco show yesterday. Yes, it was Philip DeFranco talking about a study. Now, it's just one study, and even the people in the study say we need to do a lot more studying. But they were finding that, especially with men who smoke pot, especially at a younger age, have a massive increase in risk of schizophrenia, which I have mentioned, and even I have mentioned and said that even in legal states, the younger you are, the more you need to stay away from it, because if you are going to get schizophrenia when you're older, and you smoke when you're young, you're going to get it when you're young. It is an issue. It is not a good issue. It is a very bad thing. If you are going to get it later, you will get it earlier if you smoke. And one of the big problems with that is if you get it later in life, you've built up life experience, you know how to deal with it a little bit better. If you're a teen still trying to figure out what's going on in life, and suddenly your schizophrenia comes roaring in, you have no life experiences to try and temper that with. It's going to hit you like a freight train. So yeah, I imagine with a lot of people that are smoking younger, and it could even, if it extends into teens, it could be into your 20s, possibly early 30s. So if you're going to get it, if it's in the cards that you get it at some point in life, you've moved that card to the front of the deck. And that's a really bad thing. And as Philip DeFranco was talking about as well, there are places around the world now that, especially here in the US, they are ramping up the THC contents in all of the the legal marijuana stuff, cannabis. And so he was saying, there's people that they're smoking stuff that, oh my God, you go to the moon. And I wish that was true for me. I smoke for pain because otherwise I would be bedridden. At the very best, I'd be in a wheelchair. I can smoke a 50 to 60% THC oil-infused joint and feel nothing more than pain control and a very mild and vague sense of happiness. And that's it. I once chugged a bottle of these, well, not chugged. The best idea is to mix it, get it going with your saliva, absorb stuff through your underneath your tongue, swash the drink around. You're really not supposed to drink the cannabis drinks as just drinks, more as a mixer to infuse. But I drink in like 5 minutes a 100 milligram THC drink, and I will feel nothing but pain control. It is, DualShock 4 disconnected. So I wish they would do more CBDs, which takes away from the THC, and since they're only doing THC anymore, you really have to pay extra to get any CBD stuff, and it's the CBDs that are really good at pain. THC is good with pain, just not as good as the CBD part. But yeah, they're looking at trying to cap the limit to try and make it so that more people don't have issues. We shall have to see what's going on. And then on my list, as you can see over here, I started off my whole solo RPG craze right now with the whole D100 series. I talked about it, somebody sent me as a gift the first book, and since then I have just gotten quite a handful of things. There have been, and I have gotten the 6 books in the series. Now, of the 6 books, one of those was entirely an adventure with no rules. One of them had a few rules and then was an adventure. There's now a 7th book that is now come out, and it's another adventure. It's got like 100, it's like a choose your own adventure type, except with the D100 dungeon, you're also doing the random mapping, the random this, the random that, etc., etc. So, thumbs up for that. And let's see if there's anything else that I've got. Oh yes, I have also, the last Minecraft Dungeons video that I've posted is going to be the last Minecraft Dungeons video that I'm going to post. I have tried to power up my character. I have been trying to get the better equipment as I've gotten it, and I reached the boss and it hit that frustration point. I couldn't do a thing to it. The times that I could hit it and hurt it, I was doing less than 1/3 of damage to its hit points. And that was with my mega major stuff pounding on it. All the rest of the time, it would take me down to this many hit points, and then I had to run until I could heal, and then I could go up, do this much damage to it. It would take me down to that much. I'd have to run and heal. It was frustrating and ridiculous and not fun. I even started off with saying, I'm a person that doesn't fully understand how to play, but I'm playing. And if I've reached the point where I've reached the first actual big boss, and it is now frustratingly stupid instead of fun, then yeah, this is the last episode of that. It's too bad. I don't understand, and I wish I did, because I must be doing something wrong. Life is life. What else do I have on here? I've talked about my leg and my arm and pot and D100 and abandonment and all that. I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about things like Utokk and the King in Crimson and the Razor's Edge, because once again, even though Utokk is vile, even though Utokk is very, very horrific, if you ever get into Utokk's domain, if you can, quickly crash yourself to desktop fast before Utokk gets their claws in you. Because, oh my god, it is the worst way to die. And yet, they're not evil. Everyone has to eat and live, and they are a quote-unquote physical being living in a physical universe. They operate under the same laws as we do. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you have to take in energy to replace the expended energy. Utokk has to eat us. Just like lizards eat bugs, and birds eat other insects, and spiders eat insects, and insects eat insects, and mammals eat other mammals, and mammals eat plants, and it's all resource competition. Utokk is still a part of all this. They may be a very powerful individual taking place in a portion of a reality that we can't even comprehend, but they need to eat. They're not evil. To us, as prey, of course they are. But I bet deer call wolves evil. And if it weren't for wolves, well, deer populations go very bad very quickly. So, thumbs up for that. So Utokk is just trying to live their life and trying to have peer-to-peer interactions with the King in Crimson. This is one of the things that has really been astonishing to Utokk themselves, and they are trying to figure out what to do. There is no guidebook for them. They are a singular being as far as they know, and they have physically, mentally, and emotionally matured. I just hope I haven't got cookie bits here. I ate a cookie before I started recording. So they have no guidebook on what they should be doing or how to lead life. They're just figuring things out. Even though they are just an absolute edgelord and douche canoe and just, if you're a human being and you're talking to them, everything has 1, 2, 3, 4 layers to them, and they're all contradictory and just leaving you confused. As we are to the King in Crimson, clever raccoons to a human being, the King in Crimson is a clever raccoon to a human being. But Utokk finds that just sitting down and interacting with the King in Crimson on a 1-to-1 level is a 1-to-1 experience with a peer. And they crave that. And they are discovering through time, because they're first things, they act as douche canoey as possible, while also being, oh yes, I want to work with you, oh great and mighty king. But as time goes on, that softens. They never stop being antagonistic. They are still Utokk. But they're never going to push it so far that they actually cause harm, hurt, or permanent, because they actually value this interaction with the king. And that's interesting for Utokk as well. Is there anything more about Utokk? Actually, there's a whole lot. Because when Utokk builds bodies, because Utokk can build perfect down to the atom copies of whatever they eat, one of the things that Utokk does to, checking my time, experience things is with every body they build, they have constructed 2 types of openings, the only ways they know how. They are also working with a system that they only have partial understanding of. And so they know how, with their partial understanding, to make bodies with a battery slot or make them with a plug, effectively. It's metaphorical. And what the plug is, they slot themselves into it, and 1% of them turns on the extra universal nervous system of the body, and they experience life as that body. They are still Utokk. They're still connected to the main portion. It's just only 1% of them is in there. One of the main reasons that Utokk actually occupies this one body all the time is they can do perfect mental simulations using the bodies that they have, and trying to figure things out and work on their own science and this, that, and the other. And you can go and do an actual thing with the human bodies that you slot into and plug into and come up with exact same results. If you measure the results, mental simulation versus IRL, I did it, they're exact, down to the atom. If you tried to figure out which one was different, even if you did molecular studies on the paper, it would come up exact. And yet, the simulation is like having a precisely measured 8-ounce serving of plain congealed oatmeal fresh from the refrigerator after 10 hours of cooling. And the IRL version of doing that is, about 8 ounces. Could be 7.5, could be 9. It's ladled out with a big old spoon and put into a bowl that oatmeal that's been simmering on the stove for, oh, it's been there all morning, and there's been chunks of apple in it, and when it's ladled into that bowl, the steam gets up into your nose with that apple scent, and then with that sprinkling of brown sugar on top, it just melts on your tongue. Exact same results, but which one would you want to eat? Yeah, Utokk likes the one that's so much better as well. Same nutritional value, but this one's a lot more fun. So Utokk spends a lot of time keeping that body running with that 1% of them in there. They don't understand why, when they smoke a cannabis joint, that they feel what a human being feels. Because they do. Because their bodies aren't dead. The bodies that they make aren't dead. They were never alive to be dead. There is no gaseous exchange in the lungs if Utokk makes the lungs move. Blood doesn't flow. Blood is like jelly inside of the veins that of the bodies they make. There is no way that inhaling some smoke into these dead lungs should affect anyone inside of that head. And yet, Utokk gets high. It's nothing compared to their actual real life. But again, it's that cold lump of oatmeal saying this is what it feels like versus, oh my God, this is delicious, finding out. There's a difference, and Utokk likes that difference. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count American Sign Language, it's for stimming purposes. I don't really pay attention to that anymore. Let me get my Chrome ready. Let me take off my glasses so I can see properly at this distance. We have Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up, thank you. And I love games like Diablo 2, any of these things. Grim Dawn, I love isometric games. They are awesome. That used to be pretty much all there was back in the day. So, yeah, I grew up with those. I think they're awesome. Nexor EH, it is a good thing that you are doing better. Hopefully your port stays functioning well and you don't just have to sleep all the time. So, thumbs up, thank you. Good to see you, and I will see you in the comments. I continue to hope. We have It's Relit, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. And oh, summer. We have JAYY, greatly appreciating, good to see you as well. And Chris, thumbs up and thank you. We have Mr. N, greatly appreciated. And there's Fister, thumbs up and thank you much. Floramu, greatly appreciated. And it's always good to see you in the comments as well. RJ Mitchell, yeah, minimum viable product would be a good improvement in the games. What the heck is the word? Business? I've lost my mind, but you know what I mean, I hope. We have Ice Damon, greatly appreciated, thumbs up and thank you. And that is it, greatly appreciated, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, thumbs up and thank you, greatly appreciated. Yay! So, I need to put my glasses on first so I can at least see some things. Close up I can see with this part. Far away I can see with this part. It's just, my monitor is just right in the middle and that bugs me. Life is life. But, once again, I'm using the controller and waving it in the air as if I were conducting an invisible orchestra of wavelengths? Maybe, I don't know. Still though, you take care. I mean, I will see you as I end this in a, once again, the thoroughly anticlimactic fashion.